right, we're back at Vanderbee's Power Watch for Black Panther. Here I have one of the attendees for our panel discussion. And what did you feel like you learned the most from this panel discussion over analyzing Black Panther?
I feel like I learned, as far as from the panel and from the audience, how significantly important this movie really is. And I really came in looking at it as entertainment, because I've always had those positive role models in my life, period. So I wasn't coming to the movie to find those reinforcements, and I make sure that I'm that reinforcement for not just the women in my life, but anybody in my life, women, men, children, anybody I meet. I make sure that I'm on that level to be of some type of influence to anybody in any way I can, especially given my age. I feel like I should have some type of knowledge to offer anyone. So I learned how significantly important that this is for a lot of people, and that it's just more than entertainment. It really is.
Mm-hmm. You actually mentioned in one of your statements that you made to the panel and to the audience how strong Black women wasn't something that you had to look for in your family life, that your mother provided that. Do you feel like that is something that was ingrained in her, or something that she learned because she wanted to give it to you and your sisters?
I think it was something that my mom most likely learned, because my grandmother raised 9 kids by herself. My mom had 9 kids as a single parent. So unfortunately, she didn't have a choice to be weak. She didn't have the choice to relax or sit back. She didn't have the time to sit around and say, you don't look good enough, you're not doing this good enough. It was, get it done. You get it done for your sister, this sister help that sister, you help your brothers. And it wasn't just a household thing. That's why I'm really shocked by 2018. We have people talking about looking for positive role models as Black women, because this is my neighborhood. I didn't grow up in the suburbs. I grew up in the projects. Okay, in Houston, Texas, Brick City, one of the most famous projects in this country, pretty much. I saw my mom and 2 of my aunts get shot. I've lost a brother to gun violence, so as far as people searching for something outside of themselves, my mom had that in her, and she gave it to us, and it was something that was an overall theme in my life, as far as all the women in my life, my best friends, their moms, my grandmothers, my aunties, cousins, the neighborhood itself as a whole. We, the women especially, we never looked at each other and picked each other apart. We always found ways to build each other up, and it wasn't always about just how we looked. It was about the books. It was about the education. It was about that you're better than just this. There's nothing wrong with this, but this is where you're at now, because this is what your mom can provide for you. It wasn't a matter of downing her, but that's where she was. So in turn, I have a son. My son is the first descendant of my grandmother, my mom, my entire family to graduate from college, because of what my mom instilled in me. And again, it doesn't go back to looks. It's about what your mindset is, what your heart is, how you treat people. And again, I had a discussion with a young lady I met in the bathroom about adjusting her crown and her hair. I'm like, and you know what I said to her? Your crown isn't always physical. It's about an attitude. It's about your heart. It's about compassion. It's about being secure with who you are. Because you notice in the film, none of the women had on the crowns that a lot of women run around with. I mean, aside with what Angela Bassett had on, that's considered a fictional crown. But unfortunately, a lot of women run around going with a pair of Jordans on and let me adjust my crown. How is that a crown? How does that make you a queen?
Mm-hmm. So do you think there's so many statements about how powerful women are, but we're missing what's going on in our own neighborhoods? Do you think that needs to change with media to actually show the powerful Black women in our neighborhoods, in our communities, to actually change the conversation?
And again, I think it's a double-edged sword, because whether the media shows it or not, there are a lot of strong back, powerful women. For one, you hear the conversation in our own communities. Black men feel like we are too strong, we're overbearing. How is that possible when we've been left, in a lot of cases, to be the head of our households? We don't really, again, it goes back to, we're either gonna fight or we're gonna run. And Black women, we don't have the choice to run. We don't have that option. So the movie showed positive, beautiful, a strong black woman being loved right off the bat. But in reality, we're talked about poorly for that. Oh, you're too strong. You're too independent. Well, who do you expect me to be? I've raised my kid by myself. I had to be independent because I was raising them by myself. I didn't have the option to flee. So I had to be independent. I am strong, and I don't have a problem with that because I love me. I love my independence. I live my life every single day. And it's just, unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword in our own community. So regardless of what media shows, our own community of men are the ones who are telling us we're too strong. And somehow that's not beautiful. And we're both. We're all.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you. We are here at Power Watch for Black Panther.